A to the K.
To the K.
To the K. Extreme Rules!
Yeah.
We are back. A2theK Wrestling Show, here to bring you our thoughts on the latest WWE pay-per-view. Not so Extreme Rules, Anthony.
Did we have any Extreme Rules?
Just the one, I think. Ironically, I think the Raw the following night actually had more stipulation matches than the pay-per-view.
Which was fucking weird, let's be honest. Like,
Yeah.
they actually had a US title match that was a no disqualification match. It's like, where the fuck was this?
Yeah.
Where the fuck was this in Extreme Rules?
And they had a steel
Spoilers.
cage match, and it's like, yeah,
Like,
makes
okay.
sense.
Extreme
like-
Raw.
I get it, plans may not be finalised, but come on.
For me, though, this is exactly why I'm against naming a pay-per-view. Like, this is kind of not the same thing. It's not like they've called it Hell in a Cell, but this is like when you name a pay-per-view in a way that suggests stipulations. Like, well, we've got pay-per-views now. We've got Elimination Chamber, Hell in a Cell, TLC, all these ones where it's like, so we're going to expect that sort of match then. Imagine having a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view with no Hells in Cells.
I mean, to be fair, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me, based on this one. Yeah.
It's just a name. It's like,
Well, yeah.
okay.
Like, I feel like they panicked so much this time saying, well, it's called Extreme Rules, we have to have at least one Extreme Rules match then. And then just went, oh, well yeah, we'll do it with Roman. And
Here's the thing, though, right? They made some of them so obvious that they could have been Extreme Rules, that why weren't they? And we'll get to that. But, like, you're like, well, you almost signposted it in the way you cut your promos. Like, it might as well have been. What were you thinking? Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done like a fucking Lily on a pole match. You know what I mean?
They could have.
And then whoever gets it can use her powers to cause
I
crazy
reckon
shit.
that it's stuff like that. That's what they think made it extreme.
Mm.
Like, no, not Lily. Like, that was extreme. Extreme. We'll get to that.
Extremely awful, of course.
Let's talk about the highlights first, because I'm a positive guy.
Of course, all of them. So I'll kick us off then. So the impromptu, unannounced match that took place, Anthony. So randomly, they threw together the New Day versus Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. And it was decent, to be fair. Considering the fact that it just got added last minute, there was no hype or build up or anything like that. The New Day back together again. Lashley working with AJ and Omos. It made for a good contest all round, I think. And it set up obviously the New Day and Big E to kind of continue to show a little bit of dominance again after quite a while of, not so much. I was yeah.
I agree. All in all, really good match.
Okay.
And impromptu. No one expected it. What's that about?
I mean, again, they haven't even they don't announce any stipulation matches, but not even only that, they just don't even announce all the matches.
And we're bitter about it because we like to do our prediction series, and you're fucking that right up, WWE, when you don't announce half your matches.
And exactly, I mean, I got a full sweep again this time, but if that one was in, I could have got even more of a full sweep, and I would have made myself look even better.
But you say that now. You say that now. Like, I reckon your vote was for Styles and Omos.
Just them two. Not even.
Trying to remember who won.
Not even Lashley. But no, I think it does say a lot, though, in my opinion, the fact that Big E, the WWE champion, was a last minute. Oh, well, I suppose he should be on the show then. Let's put him in a mixed man match. Does, in my opinion, kind of give some credence to what I've been saying.
I think give it another 2 years. 2 years, Carl, right? The Universal title will be the top title, and the WWE or the World title will be nothing more than the 24/7 title in terms of ranking.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
Be something everyone just scramble fights for on any given show. That's all it'll be soon.
It's going that way.
Anyway.
But yeah, so highlight kicking off.
I've got a highlight for you, Carl.
Go on.
And I'm curious to know how you feel about it. The Usos versus the Street Profits. Profits. Actually, a really good match. And actually, the Street Profits were a large part of the reason for that. as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not a massive fan of the almost over-the-top energy of Montez, but this entire match I thought really showcased what they are capable of, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I did not expect to, so it's a highlight for me.
You're wrong. Nah, I kid. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Street Profits. I'm not even a massive fan of the Usos, I'm not going to lie. But, Montez showed in his one-on-one match that he had with Roman Reigns that he can go. And obviously he is a very skilled performer.
And do you know what? I think he handled the table situation rather well.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm not going to speak ill of either of these tag teams. I think they both are great at what they do. I'm not massive fans of either of them, but stylistically, this was fine. We've seen it before. We've seen it many, many times before. But here we go. It is what it is. It was okay. It was a good match, I think. Deserving of being a highlight. Didn't blow me away, of course, but it was one of the better matches on the show, especially in terms of like the outcome and how it actually came about. So yeah.
Well, fair enough. I guess you just have to blow yourself away. Anyway,
so believe it or not, that's all the highlights we've got for you guys. We're going to move into. We've got something which is neither a highlight or an oh shite, which we'll come on to. But the first oh shite I want to talk about is. Wait, what? No,
what?
That's not right. Is it right? Is it right?
What?
I can't remember whether this was a highlight or a no shite because it's not on me notes. But I'm looking at a picture right now of Carmella and Liv Morgan. So I surprised myself.
We haven't listed it at all.
We haven't listed it.
I would call it a highlight because I actually enjoyed that.
So I think I was on the fence with it because I enjoyed the match. I thought it was fantastic. I was pissed off it was on the pre-show. So
yeah, like if I take your point on that. Like let's mumble for a while because apparently I haven't got words. So I'm just. I think it deserves a highlight for the match.
Yeah.
But I totally agree that the positioning was shocking.
Yeah, I think they definitely delivered. It was intense. It was full of really good moments. Massive respect for the pair of them for being able to put on such a good match. But yeah, for such a low kind of number of matches on the actual show, to give this the pre-show spot, the women's revolution, whatever, it's fucking dead. It is dead. And it's like, people might go, oh, well, yeah, fine, there was only 7 matches in total, but 3 of them were women's matches. Who gives a fuck, right? This was on the pre-show. This was probably the better match of all the women's matches, right? You had fucking shenanigans.
No, you can't say that.
Shenanigans in the pair of the others. One of them was more about a fucking doll than it was about the actual performance in the ring. So, yeah.
Was it truly a women's match?
Yeah, the whole thing was fucking...
Also, anyone trying to defend the women's evolution in WWE, let's just remember that they had a match that was mostly about a toy doll.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what women want to fight about right now.
That's the state of women's wrestling in WWE right now. But yeah, we're talking about people who literally a mere couple of weeks ago, their match, as part of a tag match as well, was cut due to timing. And then it's like, okay, no, yeah, we'll give them their time again. We realise we made a mistake. They finally managed to have the match that lasts about fucking 2 minutes, and it ends in some weird little thing about, oh, you broke my nose, and it was like, a count out or whatever. And then that leads to this little feud, and you're like, okay, maybe something will come from it. No, pre-show, shite. But yeah, such a shame. I think they both were fantastic, delivered in the ring, and yeah,
definite quality match, like you say. Highlight for the match itself. I think they both. In fact, I'd give credit to Carmella as well. I tend not to give her too much credit because I wasn't too over on her gimmick. But do you know what? She's a hard worker, isn't she? Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, she is. All in all, I thought it was good. And I'm going to end up taking the next one, Anthony, as well, because I fucked up. But
you steal from me.
I've got the shit to talk about on this one. Because I know that you're going to get into the Becky and Bianca stuff. But so
yes, I am.
For me, I want to talk about Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. And, I just alluded to it then. But what the fuck was going on here with this? The whole thing was about Lily, and it's like, are you shitting me, right? None of it really made sense.
She has a title, right?
So the title's on the line. We looked at it and was like, okay, we're actually enjoying the build up to this. It's something which feels fresh, in
Throwback,
terms of
you could
the
actually say that.
well, yeah, in terms of their promos, the things that they were going after and stuff like that. It was a little bit like, ooh, I can't believe you said that. Ooh, I can't believe, it was interesting. It was good, and then you end up having this match, and the match was average in terms of actual quality, but it was all about fucking Lily, and it's like, well, I don't know what they were doing with Alexa's character. I've said this for a while. Like, has she got powers? Hasn't she? It was meant to be Bray that was controlling her, and then Bray left. Then okay, now it's meant to be Lily, for some reason, and now she has been fucking decapitated effectively and unstuffed. So yeah, I just thought
One major reason I'm pissed off with this, right? And not to delve too deep into the whole story aspect of it, but that's all it took.
yeah.
Like, apparently, because like Alexa seems genuinely upset, and we're hearing rumors that she's not going to be on TV, so they actually do it. Like, that's all it took to stop Lily, which makes Shayna Baszler look like a fucking idiot, because that's not something she tried when she was fighting the doll, right? And it to me, it's like, how do you make some sort of mystical, scary character in this creepy doll, and then give it such an obvious fucking weakness? Imagine, if you will, finding out that like Jason Voorhees, right, scary as fuck, probably gonna kill you, intimidating, can appear out of nowhere, but fly spray will kill him. Don't worry about it. It's fucking weird, isn't it? Like, why was the doll dealt with so easily? Why didn't they do that like ages ago? This thing can create fire and cause glitches in the arena and all sorts of shit. Randomly appear in mirrors or whatever she did with Shayna. But yeah, apparently it's still just a doll. You can just tear it apart. No worries.
Yeah. But no, I think
Fuck.
yeah, I think obviously in light of the news as well that Alexa's now going to be taken off TV for a while, I can't imagine her coming back and it's the same character now.
No, I agree.
I'm guessing it's done. As I said, Bray's not around anymore, Lily's not around anymore, so I imagine she'll end up getting that kind of babyface return pop at some point of just being back as Alexa. But
agreed. I think you'll get the classic Alexa music, Alexa look, and she'll just come out that way. Yeah, totally agree.
yeah,
They just act like it never happened. Some sort of weird fever dream we had one summer in 2021.
Yeah. Hang on a minute. How stoned was I in 2021? I'm pretty sure Alexa Bliss beat Randy Orton, right? What? No.
I remember that very well. She definitely got the pin.
She did. Well, yeah. Yeah, she did.
Yeah, so my next one, Carl, not to I feel like we're like bitching about the women's division on Extreme Rules, but I have reasons, right? Becky versus Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, right, and I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly what she said, but there were promos leading up to this match where Becky was talking like, "Oh yeah, there's not going to be anything held back," and basically inferring like this is going to be such a match that they're going to go for each other and this sort of bollocks. But apparently, a DQ finish in an Extreme Rules match that they almost made sound like was going to be extreme in some way is perfectly fine, and that's exactly what we got. We got a fucking so she gets screwed out of a title. Right, in 26 seconds, which they used for the storyline. They mentioned it on and off. And then they had a back and forth for weeks over handshakes of all things. Like, I'm going to shake your hand, but no, I'm not. I'm, whatever the fuck that was, right? Because I'm bitching about it all now, right? And then we get to the match itself, and it ends in a fucking DQ finish for the sake of putting Sasha Banks back in the picture, who could have easily still turned up at Extreme Rules without ruining the fucking match, by the way.
The problem with WWE is they cannot make a fucking decision to save their lives. So in this match, they were like, "Well, who should go over?" I don't know. Well, let's give it Becky because she's the champ. Oh, but we don't want to. I mean, she went over Bianca last time, so maybe we should give it to Bianca. That's a good point. What do we do? I know. Let's have none of them go over, and we'll find a way out of it, like we always do, right?
Yeah. What about a surprise return? That worked a treat.
They're so scared to have anybody lose, which is ironic since on the flip side to it, every other fucker loses every other minute, right?
Everybody loses.
Right? It's ridiculous. But, right, this is a controversial opinion maybe, and I know you weren't a big fan anyway, to begin with, but was the man a fucking flash in the pan? Because she is shit. She has come back. She is a Conor McGregor ripoff. She's got nothing about her. She's a terrible heel.
I don't think she was a flash in the pan. I think they forgot what made her the man.
Yeah, she's awful.
Because she hasn't been the man since she come back. She's been Becky Lynch parodying Conor McGregor, trying to act like almost trying to live off the reputation she built herself before she went away. But the forgetting, like, what made her badass was that sort of moment that she had with the broken nose and that sort of tough, almost Stone Cold-esque air about it. And now they're going, Stone who? That's she's Irish.
Well, I
Conor
mean,
McGregor, that's the way to go.
I mean,
What?
To be fair though, they went too into it last time as well, didn't they? Like we were saying, she's not Stone Cold. Like there was similarities, you know.
I'm relieved that they haven't made her come back in a fucking truck yet. To be honest with you.
Well, exactly. Like they proper lent into the fact that people are comparing it to Stone Cold. Yeah, we'll just make it Stone Cold. So they dropped the ball with her then, but it's like she's back now. But it's like, what is she? What does she stand for other than wearing sunglasses and fur coats, which is what Conor McGregor does? That's all she's done.
There's nothing more cringe to me than the first promo she cut on SmackDown after coming back. When it's only because you pointed it out, and I've watched it back a couple of times now, and it's like, basically, I'm sorry for absolutely nothing, and you're like, that was just so fucking. It's nails on a chalkboard to me. It's so bad, so bad.
Yeah, but like, I don't get how they can be that narrow-minded and creative to go, well, you come back, we haven't really got anything for you, but you know who is quite popular, that Conor McGregor guy? He's Irish like you. Maybe you could just, be him. And like Becky's just going along with it. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what? Yeah, it's been awful. Her whole return's been terrible.
Yeah, so far, yeah, I'm not impressed at all. And I don't, have they basically sidelined Bianca now? Or are we just going to go straight into Becky versus Sasha and Bianca's not a part of it anymore? I'm not sure what this means.
I'm sure we'll get a triple threat first.
Well, I hope so. At least they get something like that, because Bianca's not had an actual decent match against Becky at all yet.
No.
Like, we need at least an actual finish.
Yeah, and just when you think we're about to get somewhere, Bayley will come back, and then that'll fucking go back to Sasha and Bayley again for about 3 months.
We haven't done Fatal 4-Way in a while.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, on the flip side, it's nice to have Sasha back. Of course it is. You still haven't explained where the fuck she's been all this time. Obviously, I don't know what. Well, true. She is the blueprint now, isn't she? But, yeah, I don't know. I think it feels a bit lazy booking to go, well, okay, we're meant to have Bianca versus Sasha, but Sasha can't, compete. I know, we'll bring Becky back. And then finally we get the match between Bianca and Becky, and they go, well, let's bring Sasha back. And it's like, come on.
At this point, I honestly think they've gone, we'll put up with it for now, and we'll move Bianca over to Raw. I think that's what's happening. I don't think we'll ever get anywhere with Bianca against them two at all now. I think she's just going to move in the draft, and that'll be that.
Yeah. They'll probably end up putting her with the Street Profits, and there'll be like a little team or something now. Because
some sort of trios titles, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think you're right.
So wasn't happy with the screwy finish. I wanted an actual match, and we didn't get one.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Which brings us on to, Anthony, something which we haven't given a highlight or a no shite, but something which I'm sure we are going to have some interesting opinions on.
We haven't talked about it properly because we saved it for the show. I've got like an undertone of like maybe we're going to disagree on this quite heavily. And most of my focus is like I think the right decision was made. I'll start with that. I'll say I think Reigns should have took the win. I think that's fair, right? Yeah. I don't think the match overall was too bad. And I had no issue with Reigns going over the Demon. I had some reservations. The more I've thought about it, I'm like, it just further solidifies Reigns' run as champ. So I was like preparing myself for that, as much as like the Demon had that sort of mystique on the main roster. I'll say on the main roster because like dickheads are constantly out there going, he actually lost to like, yeah, I know, but like main roster wise, if you ignore NXT, he had a solid run as the Demon, right? So the bit that I think we disagree on, Carl, correct me if I'm wrong, is the finish with the whole rope thing.
There's two major problems I saw with this match. So one of them was definitely the rope thing. The other one was the weird little fucking playing of the music on the outside and the weird little body popping that he was doing. But yeah,
The body popping was particularly strange, to be honest. Yeah.
I've never ever seen a match before where someone's almost down and out, and then they go, I know, randomly the entrance music will play, and all of a sudden he starts like bopping around, and then that brings him to and turns him back into the demon again. And it was just like, and it wasn't even like, okay, that brought him back with like the little bumps. They just played his fucking theme song for about 2 minutes while he's beating the shit out of Roman Reigns. I was like, what's going on? Yeah. But was it the demon? Like it was shit.
Is that not like, I don't even care if it was the guys in the truck. Is that not in some way interference?
Well,
isn't that like a distraction or something? Like,
I mean, where do you draw the line? Because obviously, who turned the lights red? All that kind of shit. Like the whole thing is hokey, and it's WWE, so you give them a pass because they've always been hokey. But just that, I hated that whole like, boom, boom.
I think
eventually he gets up.
A large part of it was the way Balor sold it. I think as well. It came across a lot more hokey.
Well, it was that. It was that. It was sold really poorly. But then the fact when he's up, and then he's just beating the shit out of Roman Reigns as his entrance music's playing, and I'm just like, what is going on? It didn't. It wasn't like it was just over after like the little weird like.
A slight tweak, as you say, would have just been the heartbeats.
Yeah, like the heartbeat's fine. I could live with that. But it's when it's like, and he's fucking diving all over him. Like, what is happening? It just felt so weird.
It would have been great if he was hitting him, and then every time the music went, oh, he was like, right back to it.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done something, amusing with it at least. But yeah, I just didn't buy it.
I'll totally agree with you on that one. However, I thought the rope thing, I didn't mind that at all. I actually quite liked it. It was unexpected. And I feel like they're going to go somewhere with it. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, I hated it. Yeah, I don't think they can go anywhere with it. It's like, okay.
Have you seen the video that's come out where you can see someone run up the steps and cut the rope?
No.
Okay, there's a video come out where you can see someone run up the steps and cut the rope. I know I've repeated myself, but like essentially, I'll try and find it. It's been going around TikTok all day, and I don't know because it clearly looks like someone like. Production-wise, like a cameraman or something. So I don't know if that was somebody who had a cue to do that so the ropes would go. Because obviously the ropes have been being used all night before that, so it's hard to rig them without someone having to do something. So I don't know if maybe that was something that we weren't meant to see, or whether that's something that's going to come out and they go, you see, that was Jimmy or whatever the whole time, or someone screwed him over. Do you know what I mean? And that footage comes out and they show you that like it was planned by Roman or whatever. I don't know. But I'm intrigued. And that's a good thing. I will say, on your side of the argument, I've seen a few things pointing out that like he was out cold, like from a like. Well, I say out cold, he got speared as well, but like that wasn't that bad a drop. Like when you look at it, and I don't know if it was meant to happen this way, but when the ropes break, he actually lands on the second rope and falls. So it was about a 2-foot drop that apparently he couldn't handle, even though he'd been doing leaps to the outside and everything the whole night. So. In a way, the fall shouldn't have been as devastating as he made it. So I will agree with that.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I didn't mind the idea of the spot, I suppose, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, it was different. I'll give it that, right? But I just don't think it was different in a good way. I think they were like, well, what can we do to possibly, give the advantage back to Roman? And it's like, is that the Demon Balor's kryptonite? A rope break?
Ropes.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, hang on a minute. I was there jamming out with me music and I was stood on a rope and then the rope broke and my music stopped and all of a sudden I lost all my powers. It's like, right.
I mean, it's up there with the whole Lily thing. It's very easily dealt with as well.
The
demonic characters just really don't do well at Extreme Rules.
No, it's worse for me though because I just think like I didn't get the whole thing where it was like because for me it kind of ties in the whole thing where it's like the music had to play almost to make him the demon now, and it's like, well, what is this demon character then? And then it's like
before,
and it's like, okay, well his music's playing and like the lights are red, and then as soon as the rope snapped, it's like, oh, I've lost my red lights in my music now. I'm nothing, and it's like, oh, what? Like you shitting me? Like,
I fucking love it. It's like he has to charge it up.
Yeah.
I just need another fix.
Demon ran out of batteries.
Play my music.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was so hokey, but not in a good way. Like I don't mind WWE being hokey. They are
I
historically
think
hokey, but
this is as stupid and as inoffensive to me as when two big guys like do like some sort of power slam in the ring and the ring breaks.
mm,
Like a ring that would normally contain 30 men, no problem, can't handle like Braun Strowman falling and it'll just
yeah,
collapse. To me, it's similar to that. It's that kind of spot, and it's kind of stupid, but I don't mind it.
yeah. I think for me, I think it was the wrong feud to have a spot like this happen. Like if this was just an all-out feud, there was no supernatural element to it and stuff, and it was just two guys who were in a bit of a blood feud together, and then someone had the upper hand, and all of a sudden, the rope snapped, and that's what made them lose their edge. Sound. I could
Edge
accept
wasn't
that.
there. I
He's such
I
a
think
dick.
what they've done here, to be honest, is that ultimately they might want to revisit Balor and Roman, and I think this is what they're doing. They're keeping it safe because they want the crown jewel match.
Mm.
Obviously, Saudi money, right? And I think they might want to revisit Balor and Reigns, and this is a way of going. Well, Balor didn't really lose last time. This is what they want to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're trying to have the cake and eat it.
The problem is though, like that would be fine if it was Balor had him beat and something happened, but he didn't. He just had the upper hand, and all of a
But
sudden
I
he
honestly think
slipped
that's
off
what
the
they were
rope,
going for
and
because he
that
was
was
like,
it.
"I'm gonna do the coup de grace, and it's gonna be it." I think that's what they were going for. Like
Which would be
he's got him,
cool
and
if he
it's over.
hadn't already done it earlier in the match and it didn't fucking beat him then. So yeah, I don't know. The booking of it just felt shit. It felt hokey. It felt,
I honestly would have preferred a decisive victory. I would have preferred Roman to just win.
yeah, same. But
Yeah.
it goes back to what I was saying before. They're so scared to just give anybody a fucking clean win.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. It's fine for people to lose. Someone losing doesn't mean they're buried. I feel like, especially with like
It's
fans
that
these
funny
days
thing.
as
Like
well. It's like, oh, that's it now. They're buried. No, it doesn't. People lose matches.
this is the crazy thing that they're clearly reacting to the volatile fans because there's so many fans who the minute somebody loses, it's like, oh, they're being buried, they're being buried,
Mm.
and this is it almost feels like WWE are reacting to that because, like you say, they're not buried. They took a loss. Like that happens all the time. Like the greatest wrestlers in the world, or the ones you love or favor, or the biggest in the company, have suffered losses.
Yeah.
It just happens. Cena's not got a fucking 248-0 record, has he? You know what I mean? He's took losses.
I mean, if he had it his
Random
way,
number there.
he would. But yeah, no, you're right. I think, yeah, I don't know. This hasn't left either of them in like a better light because it's made Roman look like he was so weak he couldn't beat the demon.
And we don't
But
like that red light, so it's definitely not a better one.
well, yeah. And then the Balor, it was like it just kind of belittled his gimmick even more than it already was. So yeah, for me, it just didn't land. I just think, to your point, a decisive victory for Roman would have done the world of good for him and his heel
Agreed.
gimmick, and being like, okay, he's the guy who beat the Fiend. Like, no one's done that. But
Not
then
the
it was
Fiend.
like, yeah, same red light, same shit. Um,
Red light, green light. Yeah, but like you say, he's the guy who, again, ignoring the Samoa Joe thing that a lot of people on the IWC are liking to point out at the minute. Ignoring that one, he's the only one who's taken down the demon,
well, I've
or
told
would
you,
have been.
it's clear the demon has, a few weaknesses. It is the lack of music, Samoans, and ropes breaking. So yeah.
What if Samoa Joe was the one who cut the ropes?
Oh, maybe.
He just likes making the demon lose.
Yeah.
Anyway, as far as
Anyway,
ratings go, Carl, I didn't think this was a bad pay per view. Didn't think it was a great pay per view. Solidly sort of middle of the road, and for that reason, I'm probably going to give it a 3 because I think it was pretty good, and I probably was less annoyed by the main event than your good self. So, not that I'm guessing what your rating's going to be, or I can see it on the screen in front of me.
no.
I'm gonna give it a 3. I reckon. All in all, not too bad.
Well, I'm bringing the controversy, Anthony. I can't give it a 3. I can't give it a 2.5. I'm giving it a 2, right? I don't think the matches themselves were bad. If anything, I think from a match standpoint, it was one of the better actual wrestling pay-per-views that we've had in a long time.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
The problem, though, is that everything just felt a bit meh, right? As we just said, I wasn't a fan of the Balor Reigns match, specifically the ending. Lily got way more spotlight than either Alexa Bliss or Charlotte. Sasha coming back felt a bit cheap. The other matches that happened just sort of happened. So, yeah, match quality wise, it was good. But yeah, so that in itself made me think, But then you add into the mix the fact it was Extreme Rules, and it wasn't fucking extreme. It was nothing. There wasn't any fucking stipulations. It was one Extreme Rules match, which the Extreme Rules was the rope broke, and the weird demon guy lost his
And was that
supernatural powers.
Because there was a lot going on with that, so presumably they didn't have any rules, like what it was an Extreme Rules match in a sense before all the rope shenanigans.
Apparently, Extreme Rules now just means you can use some weapons and go into the crowd if you want.
Oh, okay. So, because they went into the crowd for a bit. Yeah, and again, the weird thing is we had a US title match on this pay-per-view that had no Extreme Rules, and the following one on Raw, which I alluded to earlier, is a no DQ match. The following Raw.
Yeah, and it also had a steel cage match on there too. So yeah, more extreme stipulations on the Raw following Extreme Rules than on the
Extreme
actual
Raw. Extreme Raw.
Yeah. So that in itself is enough to take a whole point off. I think maybe I would have landed on a 3, just based on match quality and stuff. But yeah, it doesn't sit well with me. Extreme Rules without any fucking extremities. Yeah.
But was it as bad as the horror show at Extreme Rules we had the year before?
I mean, at least that had something. Like, it obviously had the eye for an eye match and stuff.
Convoluted title.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
You got a point. They probably went more into the gimmick than they did this year, didn't they?
Yeah, I think match quality wise it was fine, but it just it was let down by too many things for me. So yeah, 2.
Okay.
So yeah, that was Anthony. That was Extreme Rules. That was the latest WWE pay-per-view. Our reactions and the results. And yeah, I don't actually know when the next one is. I'm guessing it's in about a month. Is it Crown Jewel? When's Crown Jewel? That'll happen soon, morning.
Well, that's on a Thursday usually, and I think it's in October sometime. So in a couple of weeks, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows?
But yeah, so another fun-filled pay-per-view. Filled. Not necessarily filled with fun, but it was filled. And yeah, so that was another week of the A2theK Wrestling Show, Anthony. Have you loved every moment of it?
Always, Carl.
Mm-hmm. Always. But no, we will be back next week. We'll be talking what's happened so far this week in wrestling. We'll be talking about any other new interesting news and rumours that take place. And I think, in light of the draft, we'll be doing some kind of look at the rosters for WWE and AEW, and
I think we certainly will start that series. I think obviously we need to discuss that the nuts and bolts of it, but I think we'll probably end up looking at one roster at a time just for the sake of time. But we'll certainly kick that off next week, I think.
Absolutely. And so until then, make sure you follow us on all the social medias. We are TikTok famous, as you will know and love already, I'm sure. So give us a follow on there. You'll see all the face morphing you could ever hope and dream of.
All the face morphs.
All the face morphs. Follow us on Instagram for unique things such as prediction series and all the other fun. And then Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and Tumblr, because
we're on Tumblr now.
Yeah.
Tumblr.
Yeah, we been known to tumble. But yeah, so whether you're watching this on YouTube and you decide, you know what, on my commute to work this week, I just want to listen to you guys, you can do that. We're available everywhere you get your podcasts. If you're listening to this and you think, you know what, I'm sitting at home, nothing's on the telly, look at our faces. Why not? Better than looking at a blank screen.
That's the strongest endorsement I've ever heard.
Well, there you go. But yeah, so we will be back next week. Could be Tuesday, could be Wednesday, could be, Wednesday at this point. But we will be back next week,
tomorrow.
like we always are. That's it. We play by our own rules, and that's why you love us. So until then, we wish you all the love and care and compassion as our loyal fans. And we'll see you at some point next week. Take it easy.
Hey guys, it's Georgia Smith here, and you've heard me on A2theK. These guys are awesome. Check it out. A2theK.
A2theK.